Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Hoodie London. This is for entertainment purpose only, strictly for entertainment purpose. Like I've mentioned before, I've gone to this case back to the beginning just to make sure we summarize everything and see what we've missed. There was 3 unidentified male DNAs found in the crime scene. So I'm going through each and every person who was last seen with the girls and the victims. So let's start with Mr. John Jack Showalter Jr. from Boise, Idaho. Many of us know him as the hoodie guy. He was the guy in the brown jacket and the cap who was with Kaylee and Madison. Unfortunately, the terrible night, the awful night that they were unlived. John Showalter was kicked out, allegedly, from his frat for being should I say rude or misconduct towards girls and women, allegedly. His parents rented him an apartment that is just a 1 or 2 minutes walk away from the victim's house. I'll read some of the comments from different people, some from the college, and there's one that really interested me from a girl who worked with John Showalter in Boise, Idaho. And she had some interesting things to say about him. It's been said allegedly that when he got kicked out from the fraternity that he belonged to, I think it was Delta, things started going in a wrong direction for him. He loves hunting, playing with knives. He's a professional wrestler, apparently. And he had access to the girls' house. He used to party there a lot. And he didn't live far away from them. John Showalter left that night, allegedly. He drove 5 hours to Boise to his family's cabin. It was later said that he was ruled out and he traveled to South Africa with his parents, who are doctors and have high-profile influences, I guess. That is Jack. It was written downstairs. This is the hoodie guy, another Jack, so confusing. I don't think it's confusing. John Showalter Jr. was the hoodie guy, and Jack D is Kaylee's ex-boyfriend. They share the dog Murphy together. It's written there, he fled the area, kicked out of the fraternity of anger issues, kicked out of Corner Club for being creepy with girls, has K-bar knives, and no stranger to go up her hunting pics. One of the last people to see Maddie and Kaylee alive, may they rest in peace. Allegedly, his alibi after leaving the grub truck that night was that he drove down to his father and mother's cabin in Boise. If he drove 5 hours, wouldn't the police be able to find gas station footage? He would have need to fill up his tank, get a snack or something. And we clearly remember that he did not buy any food in the grub truck. That is John Showalter in the middle. He changed a lot. He looked like he had better days. Somebody said Jack Showalter's apartment is the red dot. Guessing Kaylee was rude to him at the bar, got him kicked out of the corner club. And apparently, allegedly, Eaton, may rest in peace, got him kicked out of the frat. So did he actually have a motive? Let's remember the police said that this was a targeted crime. Either the residents were targeted or the house was targeted. So you see that red dot, that's where his flat was. After he got kicked out of the frat, his parents were renting him this flat. It's a fact that the hoodie guy had been acting weird at the bar, and the girls had complained as he was creeping them out. My niece was with him and her roommates along with other sorority sisters that evening at the bar. He had creeped the girls out that much to make a complaint. Stalking behavior, if you ask me. He then went to the food truck and made them feel uncomfortable. And how in the video he leaves abruptly when the ride comes is disturbing. I'm curious, where was his vehicle parked? ? It's not within walking distance to his flat, to his supposed address next to the girls' home. So I think this is someone from the college just guessing. There's Jack with the long blonde hair, and I think that's his family camping. There's Jack with his family again. He's the boy with the black cap and the gun. This is the one I wanted to read to you all that is really important. It says, "Hello, I'm so sorry to hear about the students who were murdered recently. Also, thank you all for the hard work you all have put in. I'm originally from Boise, but currently living out of state. So I hope I'm still allowed to give any possible helpful information pertaining to this case. I couldn't help but notice that a young man named J.S., that's Jack Showalter, may have been a person of interest. I only bring this up because I used to work with him at Flatbread. Summer of 21, to be exact. I'm not sure how much information you all were able to gather from him, but I couldn't help shake the feeling that he may be involved. I hope it's not my own personal bias, as I didn't work with him for long, but there were just some specific behaviors that gave me an early vibe." She continues by saying, I'm not sure how much information you all were able to gather for him, but I couldn't help shake the feeling that he may be involved. I hope it's not my own personal bias, as I didn't work with him for long, but there were just some specific behaviors that gave me an eerie vibe. I'm not sure how much information you all were able to gather from him, but I couldn't help shake the feeling that he may be involved. I hope it's not my own personal bias, as I didn't work with him for long, but there were just some specific behaviors that gave me an early vibe. According to my boss, he was a seasonal employee and would be going back to college later in the fall. At first, we seemed to be able to work together fairly well, but a few shifts in, his demeanor changed completely. Another female co-worker and I were in the middle of a dinner rush, and apparently a mistake was made somewhere, and he started blaming me for things that I didn't do. Saying things like, another female co-worker and I were in the middle of a dinner rush, and apparently a mistake was made somewhere. And he started blaming me for things I didn't do, saying things like, "You are a dumbest B I've ever met," and pacing around, standing super close and getting in my way. When I tried to put some space between us in an attempt to ease the tension, I decided to play along by saying thank you so much, hoping maybe he'd shift course or at least ease up a little. But instead, he became more aggressive. Then she says, I said, thank you so much, hoping maybe he'd shift course or at least ease up a little. But instead, he became even more aggressive and started towering over me and shouting. Unfortunately, I wasn't prepared for that kind of interaction that evening, so I slapped him. Not my proudest moment, but it seemed like the safest alternative for me at that time. Being shorter than he is, I got written up for it. So it's on record. But apparently, it was not the first time he has treated other women in the kitchen in a similar fashion. To what extent, I'm not sure, but they all said he had given them creepy and uncomfortable vibes. So this is the girl's opinion. It concerns me because I saw the food truck footage, and if that really is the same JS, I would definitely keep my eye on him and ask around a little more. Something just doesn't sit right with me. I hope this helps, and thank you for taking the time to go through all of this. Thank you. Actually, if it's true, I don't believe somebody would just lie about working with him. And she said it's in the record of the restaurant that she slapped him. Strangely enough, he got kicked out of the frat for the same exact behavior. And I read somewhere else too, I'll try and find it, that he got caught even for throwing dead animals in front of people's houses, fraternities. This is someone from the college. They said it's literally the neighbor, and it's so obvious, especially after his interview on Monday. He's a stalker, hunter, long-time resident, and maybe even hoodie boy. He said he didn't see or hear anything. BC. He went to sleep 2 a.m. that night and had worked till 11:45 a.m. in the morning. I still believe that that person is talking about Jack D. Because wasn't it Jack D who said he went to sleep? I didn't hear the part that Jack D went to work. Does he have a job? I'm not sure about that part. Remember, guys, this is all alleged from the internet, from YouTube, from TikTok. These were the things that were going on about the alleged people of interest. This is what has been shared a week or two ago in the sub. This is not my photo or my markings, but it stuck out to me at that time. That's a footprint, a big footprint. My God, that's strange because it reminds me of something. a comment that somebody wrote to me today about someone's footprint, shoe being really big. And I'll do that in another clip. I won't take that now, but that is very interesting. So this was from the crime scene. Look at the heel and the shoe. That's a big shoe. And just that if you're wondering where am I getting these things from, this is all on John Jack Showalter's Facebook, which he removed. He took down all these pictures. He took down his TikTok, everything. That was when everything was going on the internet. This was what a commenter left on the Washington Post article. Unimaginably lost. Memorial hole for one of the 4 Idaho victims. That's eaten. I think the neighbor did it. The girls had filed reports with the local police claiming he had stalked them. He had belonged to a frat but was thrown out. It's been theorized that Eaton, who also belonged to a frat, which was different from the one the neighbor belonged to, told the neighbors frat about the stalking, and that got the neighbor kicked out. It explains motive and targeting. The girls' house had parties at their house all the time. The neighbor possibly went to their parties. Their front door code was given out freely. He was a champion wrestler, and for sport killed large animals and cut them into two. He had large knife collections. Then it continues. The local police, the girls had filed in reports to the local police claiming he had stalked them. He had belonged to a frat but was thrown out. It's been theorized that Eaton, who has also belonged to a frat, which was different than the one the neighbors belonged to, told the neighbors frat about the stalking. Is that what they told? Oh my God, could that be what they told Adam about? Because Kaylee said, Maddie, what did you tell Adam? And Maddie said, I told Adam like everything. And they reported him that night to the corner club and got him kicked out. Allegedly. So Eaton also belonged to a frat which was different than the other neighbors belonged to. Told the neighbors frat about the stalking. That would be Adam. And that got the neighbor kicked out. It explains motive and targeting. The girls' house had parties at the house all the time. The neighbors probably went to those parties. Their front door code was given out freely. He was a champion wrestler, and for sport, killed large animals and cut them into two. He had large knife collections. I just remembered something interesting too. John Jack Showalter Jr., Dylan Mortensen, and Bethany Funk all attended the same high school in Boise. Pay attention to that. So there are 3 people who know each other well. They know each other from their hometown before they came to Idaho. Is that why Ann Taylor wants Bethany Funk to testify? Trigger warning. There goes John Showalter. This picture has been in the internet for many, many months. You can see how proud he is of his work. This is what another witness said. It is a fact that the hoodie guy had been acting weird at the bar, and the girls had complained as he was creeping them out. My niece was with them and her roommates along with other sorority sisters that evening at the bar. He had creeped the girls out that much to make a complaint. Stalking behavior, if you ask me. He then went to the food truck and made them feel uncomfortable. And how in the video he leaves abruptly when their ride comes is disturbing. I'm curious, where was his vehicle parked? It's not within the walking distance to his house. These are all allegedly, let's remember that. It's not within walking distance to his supposed address next to the girls' home. If that is indeed correct, did he get a ride home with an Uber Lyft? What time? Question mark. Who leaves at 2 a.m. to drive to a hunting cabin? And is it hunting season in Idaho still? The phone records and DNA are most likely still being processed. Yeah, but then he was ruled out. He does have wealthy parents who have very close influences with the mayor of Boise. I hope I said that right, Boise. Once again, I'm showing you all, before anyone starts being negative towards me, you can see these were all the pictures from his Facebook. Why did he take it down immediately? People are going to say because he was getting attacked. I don't think so. If you have nothing to hide, keep your pictures up. But when you start taking things down, it starts getting more fishy. He changed a lot. He looked much more healthier with the two pictures that he's wearing the suit on. But I don't know what happened to him. Was he going through tough times, I guess, because that would bring change. When you lose all your friends, you get kicked out of the fraternity. He was bothering women, allegedly, and throwing dead animals at the sororities and the fraternity clubs. He started losing friends and all. His parents are rich. They rented him a flat right next to the girl's house. Do you all remember that the police said in the beginning they kept on saying this was a targeted attack? Why was John Showalter ruled out so quickly? I'm just wondering, as a therapist, if he's ever been to therapy, since he likes killing animals, playing around with knives, typical alleged signs of antisocial personality disorder. It's just my opinion. I'm not saying he's guilty, but even Steve Congalvis was wondering why he was ruled out so quickly. And Steve Congalvis said that DNA wasn't taken of him. I'm not sure if this is his adopted brother, but allegedly people were asking him where he was that night. And you can see the date is the 13th of November. He sends a picture and he says, I wasn't even there. And look at these two pictures with the mask. I don't know what that is about. I'm just showing you all what I see. Now, this was strange too. After the students got killed that same night, before the world knew about it, Jack Katovish was the first person to donate to eat in his GoFundMe for $6. And then his sister sent another $6. I remember this. There was many fishy behavior going on, and this was before the police was notified. So what were the fraternity boys up to?